All right, so here on our show on Foodable, we kind of dive into some of the deeper subjects of a restaurant and the hospitality business. And of course, here we're at in Miami at the Vagabond Hotel. So Alvaro, let's kind of start with you. A little bit about kind of the framework of how you guys got started with the Vagabond. What was the inspiration for getting this thing going?
I came from an art background, but I also used to own restaurants in Japan. And a year ago, I came to Miami and kind of felt the vibe for this place. I was a retired restaurateur, and this was my comeback.
I love it.
So when I came he was in Mexico. Again, flew him over, and took me about 6 months to convince him.
Nice.
I had to fly down to Japan, talk to his father. But I didn't talk to the key person that was his mother, so now we're good friends.
Yeah. So Chris and Alex, you guys have come from total opposite sides of the country. Where you're out of LA, is home for you. Chris, you're East Coast?
I met Alvaro in New York City.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your backgrounds. Where did you guys get into the restaurant business? Let's start with you.
Sure. This is actually my first foray into the restaurant industry. I was doing private equity real estate in New York City.
Yeah.
I met Alvaro. It's kind of like the 6 degrees of Alvaro. I met him at a barber shop in New York City 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we stayed in touch over time. And then when he got this project, he asked me to join him as a partner in helping with more of the business side of things, the finance, the legal.
Right.
And I had been working in a corporate world, and I wanted to change, and I wanted to change the scenery and a new challenge. And the restaurant industry had always fascinated me, and so I just jumped at the opportunity.
Wow. All right, so Alex, you are accomplished chef. You basically come to Miami, which has been a struggling culinary scene for maybe the last 5 years. Only in the last couple of years have we seen some emergence where the chefs have really started to take hold and I think put Miami back on the map. What were some of the big challenges you faced with coming to Miami?
The growing seasons are quite different from LA and New York, where it's like even though LA you kind of have the same weather all year round, it gets cold enough in the winter where you have like cabbages and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Tomatoes are going to be in the summertime, but Miami it's basically November, December through like May, where it's like you get everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about the design, the theme, how that incorporates into the menu itself. What was your goal here with trying to put this look and feel together here in Miami?
What we were trying to go for, the hotel is very retro chic.
Yeah.
The concept in the restaurant that we were aiming to accomplish is casual fine dining.
Okay.
And Alvaro, in addition to being a restaurateur, was a gallerist and is a gallerist. So he had a very fine eye for art, and the art that we have in here, and I'll let him speak more about it, is very much predicated on emerging artists and identifying young talent and local talent.
Great.
And so everything you see in the restaurant is in that vein.
Okay, so let's talk about art. So a different space than what you might normally go into a restaurant and see. A lot more attention to detail, really innovative in terms of everything from lighting, your design architecture. Talk to a little bit about what you put on the ceilings, the custom art on the wall over here. Kind of, what was your inspiration behind that, Alvaro?
The inspiration was to take the contemporary Vagabond that we all feel a little bit connected because we all travel, we all like good food, good wine, and art. So that was basically what we did. The wall behind us is an artist, a local artist, who made a representation of the contemporary Vagabond. The 25 pictures series was shot with an iPhone 5.
Oh, wow, nice.
Right? So the ceiling is a map that guides you, that travels. That's the story. That piece is the story of the hotel and everybody involved. The sign on the back is kind of hidden with the bottles, but it's the original sign from 1953 that says Vagabond,
right.
The one that was up there. We took it and we reused it.
how do you build a menu around this style? Because this is not something you see every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it just kind of clicked on a lot of ways. Like, I thought about the word Vagabond. We were thinking about naming it something else, like reconceptualizing the restaurant as something else, but the word Vagabond fit because, I don't know, my style, people ask you like, oh, what type of food do you like to cook? And I was like, I don't really know.
Good food.
Yeah, I don't really know how to define it. Like, it's pretty out there in terms of like, just the sensibilities, and like there's Middle Eastern with Mexican flavors in one dish, like the carrot dish, and I think more and more now chefs are, like you said, it's like you can taste it, and it's like it's like now you're tasting this person's food. It's kind of like when you see someone's art, you're like, oh, this style is like so like this person, And I think it's really hard to kind of categorize my food into one thing, because I think as a Mexican and Chinese, and I worked in Japan, Belgium, and LA is just like a huge melting pot in itself, and so many cultural influences. So with the word Vagabond, we saw that and we're like, we have to run with it because it just makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So the food is, the menu is a vagabond in itself in terms of how it strays from all over the world.
Yeah. Chris, let's talk about the beverage program. Sure. Big bar, Miami's kind of known for the beverage scene, so you kind of have to hold your own here. How did you guys put something like that together?
We come from New York and LA, major cities where cocktails and very cocktail-driven cities. Speakeasies are very prevalent, and so when we designed the bar program, we had to make sure it gelled with the food that Alex was producing, and so it's classics but with a twist. And we source the same way Alex sources local ingredients for his food. We make sure that all of our drinks, cocktails, are sourced with local ingredients as well.
The restaurant business is now driven off of social and mobile. Everybody's got an iPhone. All of this impact, especially around food these days, it's become kind of almost the center of society. There was a time when tech kind of held that crown, and before that it might have been science or even finance. But now food seems to have taken center plate. What are you guys' thoughts about that, with consumers just being more advanced in their knowledge of food? They now have the ability to share it, on social media. They've got the ability to understand what's happening in a restaurant almost like a pro. They've really kind of raised their game. How do you guys see dealing with that in the future? Alvaro.
One of the most important things that we as a team are aware are that we are playing with the senses.
Yeah.
And the senses, no matter if you're amateur, if you a pro, you can feel it. You can feel when the gnocchi is really good.
Yeah.
You can feel it, the textures of the bread and the softness of the ricotta and the bitterness of the kale and the pecorino that he puts on top. All that is, people, no matter who you are, they react very well to those senses. And the customer just want to be, it's an interactive thing. You got to be there on top. Mister, how are you? Good to see you.
Right.
Welcome back. You have to learn how to identify who is coming back, who are the regulars, who is the first time. All these elements are very important to run the restaurant now. Either way, it's risky.
It is a risky business.
It is a risky business. Either way, if we are, we have people here that on the minute they walk in, they're upset because they've been trying to call for a reservation. They can't get a reservation. They can't get through the system. The phone is ringing constantly for reservations. Our phones, my personal phone, is I can make a lot of money if I would be up on table. I get texts all the time.
Yeah.
So it is a risky business, and on that level, that's where you need to really have a really good sense of balance, how you can manage that, because whether you're really busy or you're really slow, it's a thin line to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, it's been great chatting with all of you, learning a little bit about kind of your background and really what you've done here in terms of putting together a great style here at Vagabond. So congrats on all that.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.